Happening. My orientation is locked. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me. I'm struggling right now. Why would my orientation be locked? No, it's not. What is it talking about? My video looks really weird. Alright, there we go. What's happening, y'all? Making some runs this day. I'm picking up the phone more because this is the time when people are reaching out to you, trying to get you to follow up with what's going on with their lawn, as far as, you know, if I did a lawn renovation, like sod installation, etc. You know, they're not watering enough. If they don't have an in-ground irrigation system, it may have been installed, 2.5, 3 months ago, and everything seemed great. But it is vicious heat right now. It's very hot. We're in the 90s, 100 degree index. So if you're not watering more versus that once a day that you were doing 3 weeks ago, twice a day, you went to once a day thinking it's okay, it's extremely hot. So you might want to keep that frequency up as far as the watering for the lawn to do its best. But anywho, some of the lawns are going into stress, etc. I just had a client reach out to me, and y'all heard one of the conversations I said earlier with one of the not prospects, but hold on. One of the clients who, after I did a job Saturday and I did a job Friday, and at the end of those jobs, I still had my phone on record because I wanted y'all to hear exactly what I'm telling the client that I'm gonna do. Not that I'm gonna do, but everything that's been completed and guiding them through the process of what they got with their new lawn. Now, what I do tell people is, hey, if you have any questions, reach out to me. Give me a call. If you notice something, reach out to me, because I'm being transparent. I truly do mean that. If they have anything that go on with that lawn that seems out of the ordinary, call me. I'll come over there. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. It's easy to be proactive on fixing an issue versus, neglecting it and it become a bigger problem. So this client just called me. Mind you, that job that you guys saw us doing, I think we did the irrigation and the front lawn renovation with Bermuda. Y'all seen us working on that project. But after we completed, I told her to reach out to me if she have any questions. I gave her my guide, I gave her my trusted providers, etc. So today she reached out to me. She was like, hey Rob, I just noticed I was up around about 5 a.m. and I noticed that the irrigation didn't turn on, and I just wanted to make sure the lawn was actually scheduled to be watered and things like that. And I was like, interesting. And she was, well, I didn't say interesting. I don't like when people say interesting, but that's what I thought. I thought interesting. Why didn't it turn on? And the last I recall, I did run the irrigation on a manual cycle because I put down a granular product. So by her reaching out to me today saying, hey, that looked like it watered, I said it should be turning on. She said it's 10 a.m. and it didn't turn on yet. I was like, oh, it's actually scheduled to come on at 11. So hopefully when I get there it's wet and hopefully it turned on, but if not, I gotta make sure I set it correctly. But she did mention something. She was like, I noticed that I'm looking at the time, and the time that it has is like 1:40 p.m. and she said it's not even 1 o'clock yet. So maybe the time is off on it and why it didn't set off. I say that sounds correct. I say I'll be over there within the next 30 to 45 minutes and I'll get down to the bottom of it. But I really appreciate you calling me because this helps me, because I got a 100% success rate on the lawns for a reason. I'm not in a rush to get to the next property. I'm in a rush to deliver on this quality service we just provided. You can have a big issue if you install some trash grass or you didn't prep it the correct way, and Like, people don't know. That's the unfortunate part. Is some contractors, they'll come in and they'll get a weed whacker and they'll just weed whack the grass down. And not to say there's no perfect way to do this, but I think some of the stuff is a little bit of common sense. Like, if you got full, like, a lawn of all grass and you just weed whack everything down and just put the grass down, I feel like that's a no-no. That's a big no-no. Like, come on, that's not correct preparation. Not putting any type of compost because you say, oh, they got good soil. Nah, that's not how I do stuff. I do stuff with integrity. Every time I'm working on a property, everything that I send them in detail within my quotes, that's what I'm doing on that property. Like, leveling, grading, composting in detail. So if they go back and they look at, what exactly that I said I'm gonna do, they'll see that, oh, he's doing exactly everything. It's taking a long time because he's checking off every check box that he set out to do. Like, I'm pretty a stickler about that, and the guys who work alongside me, they know that too. Like, they know I would go behind them and correct them in the process of what if it's not up the quality of what I expect. Like, it's so many people I've worked alongside, and some people just try to get this stuff done fast. They chasing a dollar. They're like, man, we need to hurry up and get this job done so we can get on to the next. And yeah. No. Let's do this job right. Let's finesse this job. Let's literally, like, not to say let's take 10 years to do it, but when I do these jobs, I'm not thinking about time. Even though I know time is our most valuable asset when it comes to what we're able to accomplish within a certain amount of time. It helps you hit goals if you're able to keep things on a time schedule and be able to accomplish more within a day, within a week, within a month, etc. So it is important. However, it's very important for me to deliver. So important for me to deliver, because early on in business, like y'all know, I had, of course, a lot of lawn maintenance that I was doing, mowing and stuff like that. And when you outgrow, like, not to say outgrow, but when you get a certain amount of clients and they're not all stacked up in the same area, you start to, run a little bit thin when it comes to the quality. And especially when you're trying to retrain people consistently, it's hard to keep the same person for a certain period of time. But it's just a whole struggle with finding the right people to do the job when it comes to recurring maintenance services. So I felt like I was losing quality as I continued to grow. And I didn't want to be that person that's competing, for mowing. It's highly, highly, highly competitive. I get calls every single day, throughout the spring and summer of multiple people needing, lawn maintenance, etc. Now, tell them I don't offer it. I actually refer them to a buddy of mine. But it's at the point like this. My buddy who I'm actually referring, he's actually full. So I hate to just waste potential customers. I was strongly thinking, oh no, I just need to just go back in it with a peace of mind and just build out a route and still stay out of it, but offer it and just make sure you put the right people in position. I've strongly been thinking about that because the amount of leads that I have, I could stack up a route in my area, in my subdivision per se. I wouldn't do it outside of my subdivision, period. Just because route density is the name of the game. If you're able to stack customers up in the same area. Jeez, man. I just drank this Alani Nu or whatever, and it was good. It's that watermelon wave. But I shouldn't be yawning if I just drank that energy drink. But I'm going to do what I told people that I would do. This is what the video is about. When you tell somebody you're gonna do something, do what you I feel like that's what's super important. They'll know that, hey, this person is he's the real deal. Holyfield, he's serious about what he's doing, because he keeping the same type of energy. The excitement that he had when we first met him, from the point where He was evaluating our property, giving us options of things we could consider. Like, I'm not the person that come in and try to sell somebody on, something that they don't need. That's number one. I'm not gonna sell somebody on something they don't need. I'm gonna give them options now. Hey, there's levels to it. You can go in at it looked like as I'm driving, I'm running into a bad connection in the area I'm at, so the video might be glitchy a little bit. I'm over here in Hanahan. Seems like Hanahan ain't showing me no love today. But yeah, definitely deliver on what people expect of you. But after this, I'm actually going to do a few estimates. I got some computer work to do today. Monday is usually my office day, where I like to just go in and dial in, get everything lined up for the week, of course. I like to do that on the weekend as well, like my Sunday, but Monday is typically the day I don't want to be physically out doing jobs per se, because I got to stay organized. Got to make what we're doing make sense. I am in business to make a profit. Things could be very costly, some of these jobs, and sometimes I look at it and say, you know what, I could have just did a few lawn aerations and made the exact same amount of profit that I made off of this job after paying for labor and all the material costs. So sometimes I truly have to evaluate and make sure I'm still making that profit margin that I want to make without any unexpected expenses that I didn't plan for, because that's the tricky part. You start to, oh man, I need 2 more yards of this. Oh man, this is gonna take us a day more. It's gonna cost you more labor. It's so many just small little things that changes up if a job is profitable as you want it to be. But the quality of the job remains. I have to deliver, gotta show up, gotta perform, and I gotta keep that communication consistent with the clients. That's super important to me. Super important. Blinded. So we got that boat. Woo. Yes, sir. It's going down. It is going down. Looks like we might be catching some rain here in a little bit. That'll be good. We need it over here, boy. We need it. These people who don't have irrigation systems, and we've done a lawn install for over the last 2 months, they desperately need some rain, because sometimes they're a little bit too busy to attend to the lawn and make sure it's properly irrigated. And that's why I'm strongly trying to improvise to get people to go with in-ground irrigation system. I'm really explaining the benefits of that, because it's kind of crazy to install a lawn. You're spending, $4,000 or $5,000 if you're doing like a front lawn. If you're doing a front and back lawn, you're probably spending almost $10,000. And then that varies. It really varies on property, but spend all that money just to not take care of it. Why? Why would you do that? Why? Don't do that. Don't do it, people. Do not spend or invest all that money on the property just to not to properly take care of it. Like, it's work required to sustain a new lawn. It's like a plant. Like, you go to Lowe's, Home Depot, and you buy a plant, and you take that plant out of the pot and you put it in a new space, in the soil. You take it out of the potting, put it in the soil. You think if you don't water it or do any type of insecticide to keep the chink bugs and Japanese beetles from eating on the foliage, you think that's gonna make, like, if you're not doing those things, you think that plant is gonna do well? No. Let's think about the law of thermodynamics. There we go. Anything left to itself moves more and more towards disorder. More and more towards disorder. And if you don't de-weed the garden's gonna get taken over by weeds. If you don't do any type of the maintenance required And when it comes to working out, you're gonna get fat. If you're gonna eat all this food, all this fatty food, gain the weight, and you're not working out, doing no type of physical fitness, you can't expect not to get fat if you're not eating right. It's just one of those things. Maintenance is required. And we can't do our best. We cannot do our best. Our best is subjective. It's very subjective. You have to do what's required. Oh, man. It's going down. I'm trying to get there, y'all. I don't know why. I feel like sometimes when I drink an energy drink, I start yawning a little bit more. Did I eat a breakfast today? No, I did not. I'm not in the field, so not necessarily like I'm not doing any wheelbarrow, any sod or anything like that. So for the most part, it can be a normal day for me. But on the days I've been, working in these 100-degree indexes, 100-degree weather, I have been catching some breakfast because it's necessary. Blinded. All right, I'm about to pull up in the neighborhood. It look like we're gonna catch some rain here today. That would be great. I gotta shave, y'all. People buy from people who they know, like, and trust. And if I look like I'm unkept, I'm ungroomed or whatever, I don't look sharp, I don't present myself well as a professional, and I don't look like I'm doing what I said I'm doing out here, don't look the part, it's hard to, it would be hard to trust. I think about that myself sometimes, like, would I trust somebody? Sometimes it's, if you talk to people over the phone now, and before you see them, you can have a total experience just over the phone. But when people see you, it's like that's another impression you still make. How you show up, as far as this is a whole nother video, y'all. This video, what I was talking about, was just talking to y'all about doing what you said you would do for clients. And I'm about to pull up to this property, so I think I'm gonna close off on that subject, and I'll make a whole nother video about showing up for people in the right way. But let me get to this property because it's looking a little brown over here. It's greening. It was completely brown the other day. Now it was completely brown. Now we got some green. You see me, we got some brown. Y'all seen us working on this property. Oh, Rob, come on, Rob. Let's get that green. Let's get that green to pop. What we doing? The pictures that I want to post, which will probably be next week, I'm gonna post some pictures of it, and all of this is gonna be green. That's what I like to see. I like to see when it looks like nothing to when it looked like something. But I'm gonna holler at y'all on the next one.